Hey guys, you are officially locked into episode 4 of the Dr. Mike and Mike TV podcast with yours truly, and of course, my co host Mike's Philippines Journey. If you missed episode 1, 2, and 3, check the link in the description area below to see those episodes. Without further ado, episode 4, let's go.
No, it's just crazy. But like going back to like just growing up and origin stuff like that. What's like did it bother you about um did it ever bother you in regards to crime, danger, those kind of things? Especially because you lived in Manila first, right? So you didn't live in Davao, or did you?
Right. I was in Manila for a few weeks before we moved to
Okay,
Davao. So
got it.
I was there for a little bit of time. I never went out at night by myself. Even to this day, when I go to Manila, I don't go out at night like that. If I go out at
Mm-hmm.
night, man, it's usually anything that's walking distance. And that's just a personal decision. It's not that I'm scared. It's just I don't know Manila enough to trust it enough at night. I just don't.
Mm-hmm.
Malate area, nah, I'm good. I'm good. And Davo's different, man. I'll be out 11, 12, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning just walking on the streets and I'm cool because I know I'm good there. But Manila, I don't have that same feeling of safety. So, um, my experiences like with Manila were anything. If I couldn't get it in the daytime, bro, I wasn't doing it. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
care. Or if you can't come get to me where I'm at night, then I'm not going there anyways. Like I'll pay whatever I need to pay to get you where you need to go as long as where I'm at, because at that time I wasn't gonna go find you. I wasn't gonna go get you, or if
Mm-hmm.
anything like that, any type of situation like that. So you come to me, cool, man. I'll come get you. We have conversation. We good, man. You want to come kick it? We can chill. It was always in a condo. Never did a lot of party. Never went to the bars and stuff
Really?
like that. Only because I didn't trust it. Only in the beginning. Like Daval's a little different for me. But in the beginning, I didn't really trust going to the bars in the area in Manila. I did see LA Cafe, right? That was during the daytime. I did, check out a couple of other areas, in bars and stuff. But it was like, let's see it at about 6, 7, 8 o'clock. Like I kind of had a cutoff point, I should say,
Mm-hmm.
that where I'm like, you know what, man, I'm hopping in a taxi. I'm going home, right? Because Manila at night just wasn't something that I was cool with. And I think that's just my mindset. I'm not saying, oh my God, you're on the street, man, somebody gonna rob you or some shit. I'm not saying that. It's just in my mind, Manila just was not my place. Like I go to Davao, I tell everybody Davao my shit. Davao's my place, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know it, and I feel comfortable there. I just didn't have that same type of trust. I didn't have that same type of, confidence about Manila at the time. So, I really didn't go out at night. If we were in a group setting, a little different. But if I was just by myself, I still really trust to be out at night. It was just a safety precaution. It wasn't anything like um I didn't really care to really be out at a certain time of night. It's just not in Manila at least.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
don't know. It's a little different.
but that's the problem with Manila is like they have the pockets. So at nighttime
Hmm.
you have to be at the right pockets. Like you can't be because even like Manila Bay, you can't be at the towards the end of Manila Bay if you walking around at night in in the Philippines and stuff like that. But yeah, it's good to be able to kind of have that. I mean, we got when I was this is when I was a kid, um
Hmm.
we had 5 guys enter our house when I was
See that part right there.
the akyat we had an akyat bahay in our and that was actually the big reason why we ended up leaving the Philippines because like and that's why it was an abrupt sixth grade leaving. We're like
Hmm.
we're like we out because we don't know what's gonna happen. Like we had
Hmm.
we had 5 guys enter our house. Like the it was the weirdest thing. I was in my pops. I was chilling with my pops, and he was like, and he has this thing. He's like, he always wants me to like massage his head. So I was a kid. I was like, all right, cool, massage, because I'm gonna make some money out of this anyways. He'll give me some
Yeah.
money for this. And my sister was
Hmm.
outside the house with the maid and some of the kids that they were playing with.
Hmm.
And all of a sudden, you hear this thing like where you hear my sister yell, like scream, and then I remember turning around. My dad was like laying down, like with his eyes closed. By the time that I looked, and then my dad looked, there's this one guy pointing a gun in my head.
There you go.
Like, had a gun pointing in my head. My dad's like, "All right." They tied up my sister, They tied up the maids. They tied up my friends. They tied up my dad. Tied them all up together. And then, but the one guy with the gun had me. Right? So it was like there was 4 guys with guns. One guy with a knife. The guy without a knife I just remember had a birthmark in his eyes, and he showed his face. Everyone else didn't. But it's funny to me, like growing up, I realized I was like, just because my dad always prepared me growing up, like he always like puts me in scenarios. What would you do here? What would you do there? And my dad was like, in my head popped. I was like, this is the dude that's gonna kill us. The guy without a mask and the knife. You know,
got nothing to lose, man.
Yeah.
We've seen this motherfucker, man. It's
Yeah.
crazy. He's the one. It's crazy.
So they're asking me, where's the gun? Where is the gun? I was like, what gun? I was
like, don't make me laugh, bro. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Because they start speaking to you in Tagalog, and I was like, I don't know shit. Like, what is the gun? I was like, oh, we don't have a gun. Don't lie. What is the gun? I was like, none. And I know we have guns. We had guns everywhere. Like, I knew where they were hidden. They were hidden in places in the house that I know, because my dad would tell me, don't reach here, don't reach there, don't reach here. And we had this like stairway that went up, and dude, my dad broke loose while they were in the outside, going around, in the compound. My dad broke loose. The guys caught my dad and like popped my dad in the head with a gun. My dad's head just explodes, freaking blood just gushing everywhere, right?
Shit.
And then they tied him up, and then no joke, a minute later, my dad broke free again, jumped up the stairs, and there was a freaking gunfight in my house. Like, things were like popping off, like pow, pow, pow. I was like, and then you hear people running out, and yeah, man, it was crazy. Like, they got some cash, some jewelry, and stuff like that, but that was the danger I've experienced in the Philippines, man. That was like, so it's like, so my dad's always like, what lesson did you learn from this? He always was like that to me. It's like, what lesson did you learn? I was like, have a gun. That's have a gun. That's what my dad goes, okay, well, so he always like, what happened in that situation, son? What did your dad do? What's the next move? What's this? What's that? And it was just crazy, man. It was like, okay, so I'm like, these things can happen. So that's why when I got back to the Philippines, I was like, listen, we can have fun here, but I know the freaking thing that can happen in the Philippines if you ain't smart.
Exactly.
And that's living in a freaking compound that has a 20-foot floor, a 20-foot wall.
Right, that's your safe. Well, I hate to use the word safe space, but that's your comfort zone, bro. That's like, nothing bad happens here. This is my house and shit, right? Somebody break into your shit. That's a whole different vibe. Like, see, the thing is though, like you said, you got to know your pockets. Like, I'll be in Bonifacio Global City now, hanging out with my friends and shit, man, all night, man. Yes. Who gives a fuck, man? Right. I know BGC. I know I can do whatever the fuck I want to within reason. Yes. And I don't have to fear for my life. Right. And you know what's crazy though? I'm really a staunch advocate for budget friendly travel and stuff like that. But now I start to realize why a lot of my guys choose like BGC, because it's a safe place, bro. And you may have to pay for the safety a little bit in reference to how much you pay for the places that you live in or your Airbnbs and shit. But, bro, there's no price for your life, man. And I kind of feel like if you have that mentality and you can afford it, I can't really talk you out of or ask you why you would choose to stay at a place like that, because I know, like, you feel comfortable just chilling, walking around BGC at night. It's beautiful just at night as it is in the daytime. There's so many different things to do. They got their own little setups and shit. I mean, there's a lot of things to get into in areas like that. And, some parts of Makati towards the Greenbelt area, so you realize, there's some dope things to do. And now I see why you see a lot of your foreigners choosing these particular areas. And again, like I said, even in your safest place, man, if you're not cautious or you're not thinking, the worst can happen. And I mean, let's keep it real. I mean, it could happen in the United States to you, but I think there's nothing worse than it happening to you in the Philippines. Because who's gonna call your people, right? Who's gonna let people know, oh, Michael was in an accident, or who's gonna fucking call and tell people that something's not good, right? You could be going for weeks, months at a time, and maybe you're not the type of person to call home often. So everybody's thinking you're just living your best life and enjoying. Come to find out, your vacation was supposed to be over 6 months ago, but nobody. Come on, man. Yeah, I mean, your shit may flash across ABS-CBN or some shit, some local shit. but nobody knows about that, right? So it's crazy, man. It's crazy to think about it, but you gotta your safety comes first, brother. Safety comes first.
Yeah, this was like right after what do you call this thing? Marcus was sent away around when
Okay.
this happened. But like it was
Mm-hmm.
really weird, man, because like uh if you really look at it around that time, nobody had phones, right? So
Exactly.
my mom was in the US, okay, around
Mm-hmm.
that time. So this is how weird it is. Like for us to be able to call my mom up, what would happen is my mom would send us a telegram and saying, "Okay, guys, go to PLDT, go to P." So
Damn.
she'll send us a telegram. It arrives to us. It'll say, "Okay, go to PLDT on this date at this time," and then so you
Mm-hmm.
go to the PLDT station. They have these phone booths, and then you sign
Yep.
up, and then they get you prepared. And then what happens is once we're there, they will do a call to my mom and then connect. And so that's for you to get a phone call around that time. That's how it was. You had to travel from Cavite all the way to freaking Manila just for this stuff. And so that's how back in the days it was. And so, like you said, if something happened to us, I don't
Nobody
think
knows.
anybody had my mom's number. I don't think anybody had my mom's address. You know,
Right.
maybe they'll have the smart thing to do and contact the embassy, but
Right.
you know, it was like that was it, man. Yeah,
It's crazy.
it was crazy, man. But yeah, dude, you know, um one dude got caught. We'll say that, and that's also
Okay.
when you learn about police brutality, man, because dude, the cops brought him messed up in front of our house.
Oh no, they'll fuck you up, bro. They'll keep it real. I've seen some experience.
Yeah.
My favorite story of all time. I've shared this only one time. I don't even know if it's still a video on my channel. But
Mm-hmm.
my first experience out on the street, this young lady got her purse snatched, like literally right in front of me.
Mm.
Right? She's screaming, "Oh my god!" Oh, she's screaming some shit in Tagalog or whatnot, pointing at the guy. Guy's running. The guys catch him. Right? All the guys on the street, like
Street
five guys.
justice.
Oh my god, they beat the shit. I'm like, yo, this is bad. I thought I seen it all, but when you see some dude get his head stomped in flip flops, it's a life changing experience. I said this dude got his ass kicked with dudes in flip flops. Yo, this shit was crazy. She got her purse back. She went on about her business, and they drug him to the nearest, outpost or whatever. I think they just drug him to like the outpost or something where the nearest police was, told them what happened. They're not going to do anything to those guys. Those guys did what they needed to do in order to apprehend the suspect, right? So he
Mm-hmm.
resisted arrest, or he resisted a citizen's arrest, and he got the brakes beat off of him. And oh yeah, they really do damage. And I am learning in most areas and stuff. It's one thing to do something to a local, but it's another to do something to a foreigner and have it
Mm-hmm.
happen. And depending on what who and everything in reference to being the foreigner in the area, that ass whooping is a little bit worse. Especially if it's somebody who knows or somebody who's been friendly with the police in the area. So, like I said, man, I love to know the police officers in my area, man. I shout them out. I know I bought 2 or 3 cases of Red Horse for them. The ones in my area, the Baranggay captain, that's my buddy right there. Got his number and everything, right? See, it is good to make friends with these people because these are the people that you got to expect to protect you if something bad happens, or somebody you would hope will come check on your well being if they don't see you, right? So, I make sure I show my face every now and again. Hey, brother, they'll talk to you how they talk to foreigners and shit. I don't mind bringing a case of Red Bull. I mean, not Red Bull, damn Red Horse, and
Mm-hmm.
your San Mega Lights and shit. And I'll even sometimes buy some canned goods and shit because some of them live in these outposts. I don't. I think they're just outposts, right? Like secondary satellite stations, what they call them, satellite offices and some shit. So I'll bring a couple of things over there, man. Make sure my boys are good because I know that if I'm by myself, these are the guys that I'm gonna have to depend on in one way or another. Now, they never took advantage of it. Everything I did because I wanted to. But bro, what's a couple hundred pesos, man? Fucking $4, $5 to have quote unquote the police in my pocket. Get the fuck out of here, man. $5 a week to have, I'm not gonna say round the clock everything, but to have people in your corner when they need you the most, and they know you on a first name basis, and I know them. People tend not to mess with foreigners who are in good with the police, right?
Yep.
Quite the opposite in the United States, man. Wherein you try. Most of us try to stay as far away from the police as possible. I mean, it is what it is. So having that type of relationship and being able to build that type of rapport with with people around you like that. I mean, it doesn't hurt you. I can tell you that. Don't hurt you at all.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's nothing, man. Those Baranggay justice, the beatdowns of like it's some crazy stuff with the Baranggay justice. But see, funny that you said Red Horse. Mine was Johnny Walker, Johnny Walker Black. Well, no, I don't go Johnny Walker Blue, and they get the regular Johnny Walker.
You should get the red, man. I saw, dude. The red is cheaper. I didn't know if the red
is the red cheaper. The black is cheaper.
Well, bro, 7-Eleven, I swear on everything I love, red was cheaper. Or was that Gazano Mall or some shit? It could. I mean, the black and red are probably the cheapest. Yeah. Maybe the black was a little cheaper, but that Johnny Walker, man, that shit hit different. But the Janabita, bruh, the Janabita gin, I kind of, the cool, what is it? The cool ass, goddamn, what is it? The cool ass kid or some shit? What the fuck was it? Oh my god, I know yeah, that shit was like beet red or like a orange color or some shit. No, because man, they used to remember they called Manny Pacquiao the something kid long time ago. I forgot what the brand was to save my life.
Oh shit!
But Manny Pacquiao, yeah, that brand right there, that's some hardcore shit. Give me a second.
Ginebra San Miguel.
Manny Pacquiao's nickname.
Let's look that up. Nickname liquor, just in case. Well, he was known as Kid Kulafu, but that's not it.
Yeah, the Kid Kulafu. Was Kulafu? Isn't that the drink?
I don't know.
Was that not? Is that Kid Kulafu?
Oh, it's a Chinese wine. What says here, it's a Chinese wine. That a Kulafu is a Chinese wine.
I think that's what I think. Right, okay. And I think the Philippines made something to the extent and I think they only made it because it was Manny Pacquiao's nickname, and I think it could have been something that so that's what it was.